What is going on, everyone? Vlad Killjoy back again with another video. So season 8 has just released and there's a lot of stuff jam-packed into this new season. A lot of new things, a lot of things that are coming that haven't been released yet, and also some things that I can't talk into full detail into this video, or else this video would be just way too long. So if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so that way you don't miss an upload. We have a ton of season 8 stuff coming to the channel later this week, and I guess the rest of this month as well. There's a lot of stuff. So if you want to be up to date on everything and know everything that there is to know about this season, this is the place. So without further ado, since we have a lot to talk about, let's get right into it. All right, for starters, let's talk about map changes. Now, I don't know if y'all felt the same way I did when I seen the picture of the season 8 map, but I was kind of underwhelmed by the map changes that they implemented into this season. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to actually experience it and see what map changes that they have actually done. So season 8 dropped, I hopped in, and lo and behold, there's a lot of map changes, and I feel like the map changes that they implemented are actually pretty decent as far as like changing up the map and how it feels. So we've got the sideways, obviously, little rift portals around the map that will take you into the Halloween zombie type area, right? And there you can find a lot of different weapons, which we'll get into later. There's also some crash sites around the map, which if you haven't been there, which I'm sure y'all have, there's a ton of loot there. For it not being a named POI, there is a ton of floor loot, a ton of chests. Like there's so much stuff there. And there's also those wind tunnels now that you can use for mobility to get around the map and rotate and all that good stuff. We also have some tiny like IO bases around the map as well that have popped up. Now, they might not have that much loot in it since it's like one building, but some of them do have like slurp jugs that you can harvest to get like shields and stuff, obviously. But they also have an IO car inside them or near them somewhere, which is great for rotations as well. And most of these are by other locations that have a ton of loot as well. Like I know one in mind is the gas station right there outside of like Lazy and Corny Complex. There's a ton of loot at gas station for you to like loot up and then go grab that car and rotate wherever you need to go. The other one is what I like to call the flesh bubble. Now, technically, I guess it is still the sideways, but it's a little bit different because it's like one big area on the map and it's different for each match that you hop into. Okay. Y'all can't miss it. It's a giant orb on the map, and when you get close to it, to me, it looks like flesh. That could just be me. I don't know. But in this area and also in the sideways, you can find weapons that are different and new to the game. They're the sideways weapons. So you got the sideways AR and the sideways minigun for the time being. We'll get into more detail about other stuff that's coming to the sideways later on in the video. Yeah, it's a pretty cool spot if you ask me. You cannot build there though, so be cautious when you do go in that you cannot build. It's kind of like Tilted Town if y'all were playing around that time. You can't build, you can only shoot, so make sure you use cover when you're in there. So the next thing I want to talk about is reboot cards. Now I know reboot cards aren't new to this season, but they have changed the way that they work. Now you get 250 to 300 seconds. I can't remember which one until the card expires, so it gives you a lot more time to, you know, finish the fight and then go and grab the reboot card, so that way you're not missing a teammate because the battle took too long or whatever the case may be. Also, there's no need to actually interact with the reboot card to pick it up. You can just run straight through it like you would ammo or materials or anything like that, and it'll automatically pick it up for you, which is a pretty nice change, because that couple of seconds that it took to like interact with the reboot card and get it, that could have been life or death in certain situations. Additionally, vending machines have kind of changed. They have a bit more personality to them. It's a small change, but you know, change nevertheless, you know, and I'm here to tell you everything that's new. And vending machines is no exception to that. So when you get close to them, this little llama thing will pop up. I'm sure you'll have some footage on your screen of it. It's pretty cool. I like it. Small change, really doesn't like change the game that much, but figured I'd let y'all know about it. The next thing is we have funding machines around the map now. They're in all different locations, and pretty much what they are is you donate gold for a chance to unvault an item or possibly have a new item enter the game. I'm not going to go into full detail with this because there's a lot to talk about for the funding machines. I'll have a full in-depth video later on this week about the funding machines and what's to come to be unvaulted from them, or what we have the choice to donate to unvault from them. And I'll give you all my opinions on that in that video. Wildlife. Okay. Raptors are back. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I hate it. Raptors are just way too powerful. But the little bit of time that I have played season 8, it feels like the Raptors aren't as aggressive as they were back in season 6. I don't know. I just don't like the Raptors, period. We also have crows in the game, which is our first of many flying animals. Now we got hinted that we were getting flying animals coming to the game back in season 7 around the end of it. And crows are kind of unwhelming to have as a flying animal in the game, but it's just a start. I'm sure they had to put something small in, kind of test the physics and the coding and everything that goes along with implementing something new into the game. But don't worry, there are bigger and better flying animals coming from what we've heard. We don't really know what they are. We just know that something bigger is in the works. So let's talk about vaults and unvaults. So everything that I'm about to list now is everything that got vaulted at the beginning of season 8. So the inflatable, the bolt rifle, sniper, the tac shotgun, the suppressed smigs, the AK, and the hand cannons, all in every variety that you can get. Common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, whatever it falls into that category, okay? All those got vaulted. And with that, we obviously had some unvaults as well. We got the auto sniper, which some people think is new, but it has been in the game before for a very short period of time. It's pretty much a, scoped AR with a higher fire rate, less recoil, so it's okay. I've played with it a little bit. I would rather have a sniper, honestly, but it is what it is. Maybe I won't get headshot sniped as much this season, which I'm okay with. We also got the burst AR in all varieties, and I know they were in the game during season 7, but you could only get them if you crafted over to them. But now the burst ARs are actually in floor loot and chest spawns and all that good stuff. We also have the lever and the charge. Now the charge, it's not in floor loot or chest spawns. You can only get it from crafting either a lever or a pump using one nut and bolt. I could care less about the charge shotgun. I'm not the biggest fan, but I do know that it is a pretty powerful shotgun. I'm going to get into the shotgun meta in a different video. Stay tuned for that video. We also have harpoons and shadow stones back in the game. Now, the shadow stones have changed a little bit. You no longer get the double jump that you used to do with the shadow stones or the shadow bombs, either one. It's just a single jump. You can dash, and if you want to get out of it, you can just hold your R2 button. I don't know what it is on mouse and keyboard. I guess whatever shoots your gun. You can hold that and you can jump out of it. Now, I know I touched on it briefly in this video about the sideways weapons and whatnot, but let's get into all of the new weapons right now. So for the sideways, like I mentioned above, we have the minigun and we have the AR. They're pretty nice, and this is coming from someone who doesn't like miniguns. I feel like this minigun from the sideways is kind of balanced. Now it overheats pretty quickly. The fire rate is slow at first and then speeds up gradually as it's about to overheat, but you got to be careful with it. If anyone's got it and you're going up against them, they're just gonna open it up every moment that they can get until they're out of ammo. But like I said, it fires pretty slowly at first, and then right before it starts overheating, it'll start firing faster. So it's kind of balanced, better than what the normal minigun was. We also have a couple of new mythics in the game. We have the Carnage's symbiote and Venom's symbiote. Additionally, on mythics, not a lot of people know this, but we also have Sloane's mythic Og as well. Now, the last time we seen that was season 3 or 4, when we had like the Fortilla and all those POIs with I want to say her name was Ocean's burst rifle. I figure, I haven't looked at the stats or anything like that, but I'm going out on a limb and saying it's going to be the same as Ocean's Og. I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments if y'all know. We also have shadow floppers that are in the game now. You can get them obviously from fishing. They give you the shadow stone effect when you eat them. And we also have cube monster parts. Now you can only get these inside of the sideways, but you can use these to upgrade your sideways weapons. So the minigun and AR. Now let's get into the really juicy stuff. Okay, the new items coming to the game. Okay, we've got quite a few. We're gonna have more sideways weapons coming. I'm gonna list those off first. So we have the light blade coming. We have the scythe. We have a portal, which I'm figuring that may be like outside of the sideways, being able to go into the sideways. You might be able to find it inside the sideways as well. I'm not too sure on that. We're supposed to get a sideways shotgun, and throwing axes, apparently. Now, besides the new sideways weapons coming, we also have a couple of other things coming as well. We have the spicy chug jug. We're apparently getting dually crossbows, which is going to be pretty interesting because no one really likes the crossbows, but as a dually, it might be useful. We'll just have to see when it actually comes out in the game. I'm going to go out on a limb again and say that the dually crossbows are going to come out closer to Halloween. We just got to see. Also, there's a tac pistol and a combat SMG that's supposedly being worked on in the game, as well as an icy grappler, armored wall trap, and a recoil SMG and a recoil AR. Now it's one or the other of those. Okay, either the SMG or the AR. And I'm gonna have to talk about that in another video because that's gonna be a part of the funding machine. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of stuff having to deal with the funding machine, and the recoil SMG and AR are one of those weapons that are going to be involved with that. Now let me give you some detail on exactly on some of these weapons that we know about currently, such as the scythe and the chug splash. So the spicy chug splashes, they're going to be able to heal for 20 HP, no shields at all, but they give you a speed multiplier of 1.4 and they last for 1 minute. So it's pretty much like giving a team a chili for one splash, which is pretty nice, especially since like the main game modes lately for competitive have been trios. And like if you find 4 peppers and you're running trios, that's 1 rotate with 1 extra pepper left over. But now with these spicy chug splashes, that's not the case. If you've got 4 of those, that's 4 different rotates that you can do all with those chug splashes. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how that actually works out and how teams use it for sure. We also have the sideways scythe that we know about. It's going to heal you slowly, and each zombie that you kill is going to give you 5 health or shield, depending on which one you need. It takes 2 or 3 shots to break wood walls with it. The base attack damage is 31 to 38, depending on the rarity. You can also dash and do smash attacks with it. So the dash damage is 36 to 44 with a cooldown of 5 seconds. And the smash attack does 45 to 55 damage with a 4-second cooldown. We also have a little bit of information about the armored wall trap as well. The health is supposed to be 2,500. Max stack that you can have is 20. The time that it takes to equip this trap is 1.5 seconds. So that might not seem like a lot of time, but imagine if someone's like firing at you and you're trying to place it on a wall. 1.5 seconds isn't anything if someone's shooting at you. So it's definitely something like if you want to base up and no one's around, start, you know, building your base out of these armored wall traps, and pretty much no one's gonna really mess with you because it's gonna take way too much ammo to get through that, and it's just not gonna be worth. You can place them on enemy builds, and you can apply it on any type of builds. So if you want to place a cone above you in your box, or whatever the case may be, you can place that armored trap on that cone, and the cone will now have 2500. Then the cone will have 2500 HP as well. So you can make a complete 1x1 or a 2x1 completely made out of these armored wall traps. It's going to be insane. I kind of hope it doesn't come to competitive, because like I said, it's going to be insane. But we'll just have to see. Maybe it'll get a nerf in HP. We'll just have to see as it comes out for sure. It doesn't take up an inventory slot as of right now, which kind of makes sense, especially if it's a trap. But we have seen some things that kind of act like traps take up inventory slots. It could be something like, you know, the jetpack or something like that, because it will be found in stacks of 5 in floor loot and supply drops. So having it come in stacks of 5 is kind of crazy, because that's pretty much an entire 1x1 that you can make with one stack of these. And depending on how rare they are, you can hold up to 20 of them. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how those work. Well, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you're new, subscribe, please. It helps me out tremendously. And we have a ton of season 8 content coming in this entire month. We have so much info. It's insane, and you don't want to miss out. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.